new skill of how do you do this kind of style, this kind of text box style. This is something that's very interesting, very salient. It really helps to capture the attention of your viewers much better as compared to a normal one. So for all of these kind of text boxes, the fill color, you can choose to either use a text box fill where you have two dots at the side, or you can choose to use the shape fill where you use like a square, a rectangle, you have like more choices to play around, or you can use a text background. It's entirely up to you. Alright, so the first thing you need to do is also take note that for this case the subject's over on the left hand side, and you remember our reading pathway in visual literacy, we learned that people read from left to right. So if you put all of these things over to the right hand side, it is going to look a little bit weird. So let's prepare our video first. Alright, the first thing we're going to do is we are going to take the video that we had. I didn't do anything editing to it, I just used the regular one. We're going to go into the crop button, and we're going to go into crop to fill this time. Alright, we're using crop to fill. The reason why is because we do not want to use, we want to shift this over to one side so that we got a lot of space to play around over here. And we also do not want to do can burn. Alright, but take note, for this style, what I'm going to do is I'm going to make the words move into the frame. That is why I'm not going to use can burn. If I use can burn, I'm going to make my audience head a little bit tired from looking at all the movement. Alright, so I'm going to stop this, and you can see that this is what's going to happen later on. Alright, so first things first, remember we talked about previewing this thing, so we're going to crop this entire thing. Okay, we're going to now copy all this into our keynote first. Okay, so because we're going to superimpose our thing over, so for this style, I'm going to just put it over to the back, and I'm just going to send it over to the back. Alright, so I'm going to use this to actually do this. So previously I had this, I actually broke it up into different things. So I'm going to try using text background for this skill. Alright, use text background to see what kind of effect it gives me. So the first things first, I'm going to select, press shift, and I'm going to select two of my text boxes. I'm going to change the text background into a gray color. Alright, then as you do change gray color, you compare it to your background. Do you think this is suitable? Alright, if it's suitable, you keep it. If it's not suitable, you have to do something about it. Alright, so previously this was on style. I'm going to remove away the fill. Alright, so this is if I were to do it like that. Okay, then for this too, I'm going to now change the text background color to a lighter tone, maybe green. Alright, maybe to a green color, light green color, or maybe a blue color. I think a blue color would be much safer. Okay, take note that because you're doing green screen, blue screen effect, if you change this to green, you're gonna have a problem. So you are not allowed to use green in this case. Okay, so once I'm done, I'm gonna just arrange everything, and then now I'm going to select my font style. Alright, so I'm going to use a modern font. I'm going to use Futera for all of this. So I'm going to go and find F. So Futera is one of the very common modern fonts that is quite dynamic because you have many different styles. You can see I'm going to use Condense Extra Bold, or I'm going to use Condense Medium. I think this looks pretty good. And then I'm going to increase the font size because if I look carefully, I can have a lot of space to play around with it. So I'm going to just go for 100 in this case. And now I'm going to start arranging them. Okay, so take note that because I'm using a text outline, this is how the effect's going to be. You're going to use like a fill color. You're going to expand this. You can see that the whole thing will be filled up. But in this case, this is my choice. I decide to go with this. And because step 2 is title, I'm going to change it to probably a bold. Make it stand out a little bit more. Alright, now I am going to go to rotate under arrange and start to move my text a little bit. Okay, Now when you're doing this, you don't really have to move too much, just probably 1 or 2 degrees is good enough. You can see the turn is a little bit obvious this time round, and then I'm just going to arrange it properly. Alright, so there's a little bit of space, it overlaps a little bit. Okay, I think this is pretty good. Let me now shift it. Alright, so once I settle down on the position already, the next thing I need to do is I need to actually remove this by deleting it away because I don't need it anymore. So this is what's going to happen later on. Now I am going to do my magic move. You can do magic move, or you can just do your normal text animation. So if I do text animation, I select all, Command A, go to build in, I just do a move. You can see it starts moving in. You can select them to move all at once. Alright, but because these are 4 different objects, if I want them to move together, I'll go to build order, and I'm going to now take this, drag it up. You see the moment I drag it up, what happens? It kind of combines together. Okay, so that's one way you can do that. So when you press play and it moves, you can see that it moves. You can set for them to move together, but let's say this is a bit too leche for me. I don't want to do this. Alternative, now I'm going to use another skill that I learned previously. Okay, I'm going to use command. I'm going to right click and I'm going to group them together. So if you already have group selected in your customized into your panel, you can just group it from there. So now this will be one entire shape. Okay, one entire shape. Okay, so now what's going to happen is I am going to now go into move in, and you can see it comes in like that. Okay, and I'm gonna set the timing to probably 0.9 seconds. Alright, so I'm done with my animation already. Now I am going to export. So I'm gonna go into file, export to movie in this case. Go into movie, and I'm going to select from slide 2 to slide 2, and I'm just gonna leave this 5 seconds thing in for now. You'll see why later on. Press next, and then you're going to put it in the folder you want. I'll put it in my downloads folder, and when it's done, you can see in my downloads folder it will appear over here. At this point in time, take it and drag it over. Alright, you can see that actually it's a bit long. Then now I'm going to go into crop button. I'm going to go into cutaway. I'm going to go into green screen, blue screen, and you can see this is where it will appear. But notice that from here to here it doesn't appear. I want it to appear immediately, so I'm going to stop here. Command B, delete away the old chunk, and I'm going to drag it over. Alright, so you can see it appears here, and it disappears. Alright, so if I wanted to drag it out a little bit more, I can actually just drag out in the front a little bit. Alright, so let's press play. This is what happens, and it gives a very, very interesting feel to the entire video. Alright, and so this is how you do this skill.